in HD music with your news, weather, and traffic. This is Rizzo TV. Thank you for joining us in this news brief edition of Rizzo TV HD News on this Thursday, September 21st, 2017. I am John Rizzo reporting from Dyker Heights, Brooklyn. We begin with breaking news here at Rizzo TV HD News. A Latin American man is now dead after a faulty construction equipment crane caused him to fall to his death in Lower Manhattan early this morning. The man fell 29 stories when he was working on a luxury apartment building called One Seaport shortly before 9:30 a.m. Family members have identified the victim as 44-year-old Ecuadorian native Juan Chanillo. The victim served as a carpenter for the construction site for almost 2 years. On Wednesday, a partial stop work order was given to the site as a result of a crane that was unsafely operating. 9 other construction-related violations in the form of fines were issued towards the site since the beginning of this year, many of which entailed the lack of safety features on the construction crane used in the project. The work has now been officially stopped as authorities investigate the incident. Developing right now, the citizens of Puerto Rico are slowly picking up the pieces after Hurricane Maria made landfall yesterday as a Category 4 storm with winds of up to 155 miles per hour. The storm was merely 1 mile per hour away from being a Category 5 storm, though nevertheless damage to the island is being relayed as still catastrophic. A government spokesman from the U.S. Commonwealth has come forward to report that all of Puerto Rico may not get their power back until 4 to 6 months from now. The storm has added much destruction to the already rapidly deteriorating power grid that has been long neglected, even prior to the storm's official landfall on the island yesterday. About 3.4 million people, that is the entire population of Puerto Rico, are now without power. Hurricane Irma fortunately did not devastate the entire island of PR a little over 2 weeks ago, back on September 6th, just knocking out power to about 1 million people with little to no damage compared to the other islands across the Caribbean Sea. Many citizens felt that Maria would be the same story as Irma, even though as many as 12,000 people this time around took cover in hurricane shelters across Puerto Rico. Other citizens and tourists took refuge in local hotels that were built to withstand Category 3 hurricane conditions, though the storm was far stronger than that, at a Category 4 magnitude. Thousands of homes have now been destroyed, and streets have become flooded with a 4-foot storm surge of water from the storm. Maria has proven to be the strongest hurricane to hit PR in more than 80 years. Major highway thoroughfares became immersed in water and blocked by debris, prompting the governor of Puerto Rico to establish a curfew from 6 p.m. tonight until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning to keep everyone safe across the island. While President Trump has approved a disaster declaration for the U.S. Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, 10 people are still at this time dead across the Caribbean islands due to the storm, with 1 confirmed death due to Maria in Puerto Rico itself. Authorities, however, in Puerto Rico are cautioning that the number of fatalities could grow, and right now is unknown at this hour. Last night, Maria went from a Category 2 back up to a Cat 3 as it pulled away from the island of Puerto Rico last night. Meteorological experts are saying that Maria is to move northeast towards the Turks and Caicos Islands before hitting the southern Bahamas by the end of the day tomorrow. And now back to North Korea yet again, as all eyes were on Donald Trump this past Tuesday at the United Nations with the looming nuclear crisis with North Korea coming to light yet again. The president's first UN address touched on the foundations of the United Nations, how it was founded 60 years ago to foster the peace and common good for all by all nations working together collectively. Though finally Trump addressed the situation with North Korea towards the end of his speech, knocking the regime of the country as a place of constant threatening nuclear activity, and cautioned that the United States will undeniably destroy North Korea if the nation is forced to defend itself and its allies against North Korea's forceful attempts to become a nuclear global power. Echoing a prior tweet, the president referred to Kim Jong-un, leader of North Korea, as quote-unquote Rocket Man, saying that he is putting himself and his country in extreme jeopardy if it becomes necessary for the United States to attack them. The president made it clear that the United Nations was made to prevent such escalation from happening to begin with. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has stated that the threat of nuclear war is at the highest point since the conclusion of the Cold War, citing that feisty rhetoric can lead to very extreme misunderstandings. Moreover, President Trump's final warning comes on the heels of after he promised to unleash quote-unquote fire and fury earlier last month onto North Korea if the nation does not cool off on its nuclear mobilizations. We are now learning North Korea's response to the president's UN speech, where North Korea's foreign minister has likened Donald Trump's threat to destroy North Korea to a dog barking. More specifically, he compared Trump's final warning to annihilate North Korea if necessary to a senseless, empty threat, or in his words, to a dog dream. Rin Yong-ho, the foreign minister of North Korea, namely, was present for the president's first speech to the United Nations, though North Korean diplomats were not to be found. Many of the international diplomats present at the speech were very surprised by Trump threatening to destroy another country, as no other previous president has ever done so before. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson has hinted that diplomacy will probably not be an option to deal with North Korea and the situation with them. The U.S. and North Korea have not had formal diplomatic relations established as of yet, and he also said that if North Korea's top diplomat was at the UN this past Tuesday, a negotiation between them and the president could have taken place. Though Tillerson didn't seem confident to have a diplomatic discussion with North Korea representative due to their unpredictable behavior and means of communication. And stay with Rizzo TV News for continuing coverage regarding the escalating tensions between the United States and North Korea, as well as further developments during the first term of Trump's presidency. Your alternate street parking suspensions calendar and your weather forecast are coming up next. And thank you for watching this edition of Rizzo TV HD News, Weather, and Traffic. Remember to always follow us on Instagram at JRNewsman17 and on Twitter at JRiz11. You can also find all of our episodes posted on our Facebook page, Rizzo TV News. Thank you so much for watching and have a great night.